How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. You're watching Everything Weapons. Smash the like button and let's get right into it. So the C-2 Greyhound has made its last landing aboard a carrier. It's truly the end of an era for naval aviation, as the C-2's carrier on board delivery role has now been overturned to the CMV-22 Osprey. I'm going to be reading from the warzone.com, so all credit to them. The vulnerable C-2A Greyhound carrier on-board delivery aircraft made its final flight to an aircraft carrier, a U.S. Navy official confirmed. This final trap, which took place last week aboard the USS Nimitz, marks the end of nearly 60 years of providing logistics services to America's flat tops. That role has now been completely turned over to the Navy's fleet of CMV-22B Osprey tiltrotor aircrafts. The official told the Warzone, marking the end of an era in naval aviation. So on June 25th, Greyhounds belonging to the Raywides of Fleet Logistics Support Squadron 40 made the last arrested landing and catapult launch from a carrier, the official added. Though the Greyhounds won't land on carriers anymore, they will still be flying until later this year of 2026, when they are anticipated to be fully retired, barring any major contingencies. Vice Admiral Doug Perry, commander of both the Joint Force Command Norfolk and the U.S. Second Fleet, joined Nimitz as the ship traveled north from Mayport, Florida, towards New York City, the publication stated. And so Perry and several reporters, including Janes, boarded the Greyhounds as the C-2s were catapulted off Nimitz at about 1800 local time, marking the aircraft's final expected COD takeoff. And once again, COD stands for the C-2A Greyhound Carrier On Board Delivery. So Greyhounds were aboard the Nimitz along with the T-1 demonstrator for the MQ-25 Stingray unmanned tanker program and a number of Super Hornets, all of which are taking part in a large multinational exercise associated with America's 250th birthday. The C-2s, on the other hand, didn't linger around. The Greyhound, a derivative of the Navy's E-2 Hawkeye airborne early warning and control aircraft, first entered service in the late 1960s and replaced the piston-engined C-1 Trader in the COD role. The original C-2A aircraft were overhauled to extend their operational life in 1973, the U.S. Naval Academy noted. In 1984, a contract was awarded for 39 new C-2A aircraft to replace the earlier airframes. Dubbed the reprocured C-2A due to the similarity to the original aircraft, the new C-2A includes substantial airframe systems improvements. All the older C-2As were phased out in 1987, and the last of the new models were delivered in 1990. Greyhound's replacement, the CMV-22B, was declared initial operational capability in 2021. While the program of record has 48 CMVs projected, the Navy currently plans to procure only 44 aircraft of these tiltrotor-style aircrafts. So, the advent of the Ospreys were seen as a game changer by senior officials, with distributed maritime ops, longer ranges, distances between multi-carrier operations, distances from land-based areas, and the ability for the CMV-22B to plop down on improvised and unimprovised spaces. It proved to be a game changer for us on deployment. Vice Admiral Kenneth Whitesell, then commander of Naval Air Forces and Naval Air Force U.S. Pacific Fleet, said during a 2022 Maritime Security Dialogue event. So, powered by two Rolls-Royce Liberty engines, each delivering 6,200 shaft horsepower. The Osprey has a range of about 1,150 nautical miles with a 6,000-pound internal payload. Whitesell noted at the time, it's also capable of aerial refueling, while the C-2 is not. By comparison, the Greyhound, powered by two Allison T56A 425 turboprop engines, each delivering 4,600 shaft horsepower, has a range of about 1,000 nautical miles. Then there was the issue of being able to land on an aircraft carrier at night. Whitesell said the CMV-22B can do that, while the Navy has been reluctant in the past to allow Greyhounds to do night carrier landings based on the avionics in that platform. There are various other advantages and disadvantages of each platform. For instance, the C-2 is pressurized and can fly at higher altitudes over weather, while the CMV-22 is not and flies at lower altitudes. While the Navy was moving to retire the Greyhounds, the Ospreys encountered a number of problems. Key among them was a 3-month-long grounding of virtually all Osprey tiltrotors worldwide following the fatal crash of a U.S. Air Force CV-22B off the coast of Japan back in 2023. The 2023 CV-22 crash was definitely a wake-up call for many of us who are anticipating transitioning from the C-2 to the CMV-22. Admiral Douglas, V-8, then commander of the Naval Air Force Atlantic, said last year the C-2 crews with some vulnerable old aircraft stepped up and took care of business. An unexpected surge in the requirement to maintain carrier onboard delivery, or COD, to our aircraft carriers going forward. In the wake of that incident, there were flight restrictions placed on the Ospreys that limited the range that they could fly, which impacted their COD role. However, after mechanical fixes were made, the Navy began lifting those restrictions in January. A Navy official told thewarzone.com, for security reasons, the specific thresholds, numbers of aircraft affected, and details of added controls are not releasable, the official added. There have also been relatively damning reports about the CMV-22's ability to do the COD mission from the Pentagon's own testing force. Nonetheless, the C-2's final retirement has drawn closer. Regardless of how the CMV-22Bs are still restricted, the Navy apparently feels confident enough in the Osprey to move the C-2A Greyhound one step closer to retirement. At the same time, there can be no doubt that while the Navy gains new capabilities with the Osprey, it loses others with the C-2. Beyond that, the workhorse nature of the C-2 is a known and proven quality, while the CMV-22 is still having its teething issues. No matter the aircraft, COD is a no-fail mission that enables the entire carrier strike group. With that in mind, the CMV-22 will have some big flight boots to finally fill alone once the C-2 leaves the service later this year. Again, I was reading from thewarzone.com, so all credit to them. Thank you. Check them out. And thank you guys very much for watching. Please drop a like. Type us a comment down below of what you think about the C-2 Greyhound made its last landing aboard a carrier, as this old American aircraft is retiring very soon. Subscribe, ring the bell, that way you don't miss any videos I post in the future. And of course, guys, like always, check out my older content on the channel. Lots of videos to binge watch, military news, history, war stories, weapons lists, everything in between. And until next time, I will see you guys later.